everybody. We are going to be working on this C-sharp reach over in class today. So get your guitars, get a capo, and let's talk about this. My name is Chris Hakome. I'm a flamenco guitarist, and if you've been playing flamenco for a little bit, you might have come across this problem. There are several song forms in flamenco where we do this technique, and I had a student reach out to me and ask me about this particular technique, and I thought I would make a video about it. So your YouTube requests do get answered. Sometimes dreams do come true, people. So anyway, this C, I call it a C-sharp reach over. We don't just reach over for the C-sharp, but that's a really common one, and let's start there. Okay, so it involves contortion of your hand. So I would highly recommend that we're going to start somewhere else on the guitar, okay? I will go over exactly what I showed in the beginning of this, and it will be tabbed out for all my Patreon subscribers. I'll show that at the end. Let's talk about this technique, though. I would highly recommend you get a capo, put it on 5. Okay? This technique is based off of something that we do in flamenco. We anchor our pinky on the 3rd fret, the relative to the capo, a 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and our 3rd finger on the 3rd string, 3rd fret. Okay, 3rd finger, 3rd string, 3rd fret. Hey, that's pretty easy to remember. And so we have these, we're using these top 4 strings like this. Okay. And then we have the notes of an A Phrygian dominant scale, A, B flat, C, and then this C sharp. Okay, so 0, 1, 3, 4 on the 5th string, 0, 1, 3, 4. But with these two anchored, well, guess what? Now how do I get that 4? Well, we reach over, okay? This is tricky. So let's do this. Let's put our 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, okay? It doesn't matter what you use with the picking hand to get these notes. You can use all thumbs. Okay, so get that so that they're all stacked. Your pointer finger is out of the fun for this, okay? For this part. So we got to get that. Now, this has to do a lot with your own flexibility at the moment. Flexibility can be gained, and some people, no matter how hard they try in their life, they might not ever be able to do the splits. Some people, no matter how hard they try in their life, they might not ever be able to get the flexibility to get this technique in this way, okay? So, for those of you who have been working at this and have workarounds are fine, okay? If you can make it happen, if you can make everything that needs to happen within the stuff that you want to do and you're not doing this, don't worry about it, okay? But this is probably the most common way to go about this, is using the 2nd finger and going from the 3rd fret to the 4th fret. So we have our 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, okay? We're going to take that, and I want you now, I'm going to bring my guitar real close. I want you to just slowly edge that 2nd finger up to the fret bar, okay? And play all 5 strings. Get that. If you're having trouble getting that, then we got to work on just getting that, okay? So if you're back here and it starts hurting to bring your 2nd finger towards the top of the fret, then that's where your work is going to be. Just to bring it up to the top of the fret, okay? All right. So then we're going to get to the actually on top of the fret, and we're going to mute the string. It's not going to sound great. Okay? And then we got to work past that fret bar. And it's going to start sounding yucky, but we're working on our flexibility. We're not working on the quality of that note yet, okay? So that's it. That's the work. Do this sparingly. Do it after you've played guitar already and you're warmed up with your hands, and do this with the capo on first. If you, I would highly recommend you don't practice it down here at first. Learn it up here. Get your capacity up here, because you have more range of motion here. Out here, your arm is more extended, and you're gonna have to rely more on your wrists, less on your elbow. Okay. So get this, build it so that you can get onto the fret bar, over the fret bar, and it might not sound great, you might not have the pressure, work to get the pressure, and then eventually work to even get to the top of that next fret, okay? So my fingers are still down here, so I can get all those strings to ring here, okay? Once you can do that, then you start taking the capo down a fret at a time until you get the guitar open to open position. And voila, just like that, in a matter of sheer years, could be. Just work on it. I remember doing this, but I started as a pretty young guitar player, and I remember hurting my wrist then. If I practice this for hours and hours, my wrist is going to start aching, okay? This is a really awkward way to make your wrist go, okay? So, but we do it. Luckily in flamenco, we're not sitting there doing that all the live long day. And that's where our practice can kick our booties, break our hands, hurt our hands, okay? In that we might practice it too long and cause stress and strain and possible permanent injury on our hands, and we don't want to do that. So be gentle with yourself, be gentle with the process. It's consistency over a long period of time and working on that, okay? Let me address this really quick, a workaround. You can use, instead of your little two fingers, to hold this D and B flat, the third fret of the second string and the third fret of the third string. You could use your middle two fingers and then use your pinky here, and you're still going to have to, it's not easy because now, honestly, I have to do kind of a reach over here with my pinky. It goes over the top here. So there's still some weird things that have to happen. If you can do everything that way and you don't need to do what this video is about, is this tutorial is bringing the second finger over the top of these two little fingers, okay? If you don't have to do that, then you don't have to do that, okay? All right, so now let's say you've worked all the way around, all the way down here, and now you're open, okay? What I started out this video playing was a little bit of Bulerias and a technique called Alzapua. If you don't know what Bulerias is and you don't know what Alzapua is, I will leave some information in the description for other resources for you, okay? So this probably wouldn't be the place to learn that because I would get the foundation first and then go to this. And then we're way down the line in going with this reach over, okay? All right, so all I did was played this for 9 beats. I went 1, and I started with the Alzapua. I started on the 4th string, I do the down up, and then I played this C sharp, and I go, this down up is on the beat. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and on the 9th one I do that down strum is on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then instead of going to that C sharp, I go to the B flat, and then I pick the A, and then I pick the high E string with my index finger. I do a hammer on with my pinky onto that C sharp again. So this ring, I just played the open A, and I'm doing a hammer on there with my pinky. And by the way, I'm playing a flamenco A. There's so much information here. I'm playing the A major, and I call this a flamenco A. A major chord with my 3rd finger on the B flat, the 3rd fret of the 3rd string, okay? I play that open A, I play the high E, I hammer on that pinky to the C sharp, the thumb plays the 4th string, and then it plays the high 3 strings, high in pitch, all at once. And I'm going to do a golpe with it. So I have another video on that. I will leave a description on how to do that combined golpe with the strum. Okay, so there's a zillion techniques packed into this one thing, and then just conceptually, as far as the Bulerias, hopefully you know what that is and all that stuff. This particular Alzapua starts on beat 1. So we go 1, and even though Bulerias, a lot of times people will start on beat 12, and that's kind of our frame of reference, but this is starting on 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or 10, 11, 12. Okay, and then we start over if you want. All right. Whew. That is a lot of information. This is basically just talking about that reach over here, okay? Work on that capacity. That's kind of like the standard practice in Flamenco. That's what we do. That's how we solve this problem. It doesn't mean there's not another solution, but that's the most common way to solve the problem. It will take you probably a little bit for most people, I would assume, that it's going to take you a little while to build that capacity to do that. If you get it right away, bravo to you, brava to you, and this is awesome. And let's see. So I'm going to talk to you about 2 things. One, download my daily dozen. It's free. It's all the techniques, including Alzapua, how to do the Alzapua. We talk about the biomechanics and all that. The link will be in the description below, and hopefully I'll figure out how to put it up here somewhere. And then next, I did want to talk about, if you really want to get into Alzapua, I have an entire course on Alzapua, so I will leave a link to that as well in the description. I just want to quickly talk about the power of the actual course. So I think a lot of people, when they're watching YouTube, they're like, I just want to do stuff for free. And I get that. I totally understand that. As an instructor, as a teacher, as an educator, it's really difficult for me. You saw that, like, just by playing this one thing, I had to talk about so many other aspects of guitar playing to talk about this one thing to bring you up to speed within this video. Okay? In order for me to teach anything of real meaning and depth, I need more time, and most people are just not willing to put that time into YouTube. Okay? And as far as learning, we need time to learn stuff. And I prefer, as an educator, to give you a more thorough way to follow step by step through a process, so I can take you from one specific point to another specific point, and I know where you're starting and ending. And there's a phrase called assumed knowledge. As an educator, I don't want to assume that you know something and then I mess up. I'm leave a huge gap for you because I just assume you know it. And with a course, I can then create something and know that I have you from the beginning to the end, and I can make sure that you get it all. Okay? So anyway, I believe in the power of the course in any of my courses, and I think that, and if you're watching any YouTube teacher that you like on YouTube and they have courses, I would highly recommend you take them, because we can go so much further with a course than we can with one YouTube video or even a series of YouTube videos, because we don't know where you're coming from. And so again, we have to kind of start from the beginning. So anyway, here's to all the people out there doing courses. Take the courses. I just highly recommend. Whether or not you take my course or not, you totally should, of course. You should take my course, of course. All right? Anyway, that's my 2 cents to you. I wish you a wonderful day, and let me know if you have any questions at all. Hopefully this helps. Again, we have other things where we can reach over in other parts, but we got enough for now, okay? Enjoy the work. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.